Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Tuesday, September 2nd. Hopefully, you guys had a great extended weekend. Mine sucked, by the way. But we'll go into that and more, so stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and yes, this is weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Tuesday, the 2nd of September of 2025. The weather wasn't too bad for the break up this way. But what I ended up doing was last Tuesday at cardiac rehab, one of the other patients that was there uh, was complaining of the onset of diarrhea, not feeling good, this and that. And I'm thinking, well, why did you even come? Because with me, this is going on since last Tuesday. I got a reprieve on Saturday, but my every muscle in my body ached, so I didn't get a reprieve. And of course, I mean, Amos, having open heart surgery sucks. The after effects of surviving. But I went to, of course, Google and WebMD of what to do, and they're saying, like, don't take any over the counter medications because it can affect your heart meds. It can either intensify them or make them less prevalent. So basically, it's suck it up, buttercup. I should have gone to the ER Saturday when I had the shakes as bad as I did, and every muscle in my body ached. And by Sunday, my urine was almost a dark brown, so I knew I was severely dehydrated. And so back to Google and WebMD, and it said just take and don't drink large volumes of water at a time. Sip water all day long. So that's what I did. I ended up drinking like 4 or 5 gold mugs of just cold water, just sipping on it like I do coffee. So it's not as bad today, but then now my leg, where they harvested the veins and stuff, have now become very intense with pain, which is never, even after surgery, I didn't have this kind of pain in this leg. I can't put any weight on it. So I'm going to try to get in with my primary this morning. Today's not going to be a very long video because, like I say, I'm wiped. I've been through the ringer this week to try to see if she can see me. If not, then I'm going to suck it up and go to the ER. As you probably already know, Amos, with Medicare, is that if you go to the ER and they don't admit you, the copay is around $2,200. And been there, done that. So $2,200 is a lot of moolah to me anyways, for just being seen for an hour and being released. I know what my primary is going to tell me. She's going to say, Eric, why don't you go in to the ER? They can do IV fluids, get you hydrated, get you started on an anti-diarrhea medication that doesn't collide with your meds. You know, they can talk with your cardiologist. Everybody's on the same system, and come up with a plan. But as I said, it's still going on, so I normally have cardiac rehab today, and the reason I'm not going is the last thing I want on my plate is killing some other old biddies that have just started the cardiac rehab program because they end up catching this bug. You know, there's a lot to be said for that, and I'm a bad person when it comes for that. Is if you're not feeling good, you're sick, you should stay home. And the reason you should stay home is not so that you feel better per se. It's so that you don't infect everybody else. And everybody's out sick, right? That's what most companies have personal time for. You know, yes, there are people that abuse it. And I've seen that with employees of my own and working for other companies and watching people take personal days for, they say, a migraine, and you see them out shopping somewhere. You know, if you're truly sick, you should take the time off and stay home and get yourself better. And you should be thinking about your coworkers so that you're not bringing that strain in so that everybody is sick and miserable. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, so that brings us to exactly what I'm talking about with my own health is your shop has to run like a well-oiled machine, right? But your body does too. And if you're not taking care of your body and you're putting in long hours and you're pushing too much on the body so that the body starts showing things to you, then that's the time to have your wake-up call and say, is it really worth it? It is. What I found with myself being an entrepreneur is there for the longest time I wasn't happy with what I had. I wanted more and more and more. And by doing so, it was also costing me in health along the way. See, your body can only take just so much stress, so much nights of not getting good sleep. Sleep is probably the biggest thing. And then if you're laying in bed at night thinking about stuff that's going on in the repair shop, you're still not getting a restful sleep. You need to learn, just like a repair shop, when to open the doors and when to close the doors, and how to go about your pre-season checklist, how to go about your, lawnmower maintenance on, doing step by step by step by step. And then running the business and understanding that, you have to have customers, you have to do quality work. You're only as good as your last job. Slow yourself down so that you're putting out quality work. It's not about numbers at the end of the day. It's about putting out quality work. If you're focused on more money, then what ends up happening is you let things go too quickly. You do. And then, as Jason says, you start doing a lot of redos because you get in too big of a hurry and you miss the stuff that should have been picked up. And that's what happens to the body when you're up to your head in everything to do with the shop, is the trying to figure out how to put this so that it's understandable. Yes, you got to have money to run a shop. You got to have income coming in. But if that income coming in is short-lived, you're going to want more, that you're never going to be happy. And you have to figure out, where is that happy place? For me, I finally said, you know what? That happy place is to make a comfortable living. I'm not looking to get rich. Slow down. I'm getting older. Start getting sleep at night. Because, I thought that I was doing exactly what I should be doing, and that's running with the dogs, right? Because not only was I running the repair shop, I was running the beef farm up here, raising Holstein replacement heifers, doing the haying on 5 farms. And that was just 2 things I had going on. Because I didn't know what to do with myself if I wasn't busy. And that means taking the time to sit down, and my grandfather always said breakfast was the most important meal. With me, if I have breakfast, I feel like taking a nap. But for most of you, breakfast is probably the most important meal. It gives you the energy to get you motivated, right? And then as lunchtime progresses, you have a sandwich or some soup or what have you, and that gives you another little burst of energy if you're younger. If you're older, we want to take a nap. But if you don't take care of your body, who is? It's the same thing. If you don't take care of your employees in your repair shop, who will? That falls smack on your own shoulders, just like taking care of yourself falls smack on your shoulders. I started seeing that even more because I started a second book, and it's The Silent Suffering. And the third thing that you guys know a little bit about is that for the 24 years my wife and I have been together, she's had some serious bouts with bipolar and schizophrenia. So I became a caregiver, and I welcomed that with open arms because I thought, I'm the protector. I need to keep her safe. The only place she can be safe is with me. And what else happens when you start doing that? You start to lose your identity, and life starts revolving around her illness. It does. So not only was I doing a repair shop, online sales, cattle, I was also taking care of my wife. I was losing myself to the point where I didn't think I mattered anymore. And that's not a good place to be. Because if you're married, you want your better half to be okay. And hopefully, Jason, your wife is doing really good, really well. So you're willing to do anything and everything for her or him. Yes, we have females that watch these videos. But that becomes our most important role, is the safety of our better halves, right? But what cost? Why is it not okay when you're embroiled in this to say, what about me? What about my quality of life? I had so many things on my plate that I almost think that a lot of it was so that I wouldn't have time to think of those questions. Because I had early on. I'm like, this is crazy. You have to decide what's best for you. You know, we're kind of going around and around and around with trying to get my wife into a nursing home right now. And the assets that I have are kind of a roadblock. They're trying to work their way through it. And the one thing that I've expressed to everybody, including Medicaid, is whatever gets done, I do not want to look over my shoulder. I want everything on the up and up. I want honesty. And if she doesn't get it, she doesn't get it. That's as simple as that. Don't lie, don't fudge, don't anything. Nothing. I do not want that hanging over my shoulder of saying or doing something that is incorrect to get her the help she needs. The big thing, I don't know if I told you, was when they were saying that they wanted to get her Medicaid, they said, well, she already has Medicaid. It's under her maiden name. Well, how come it's under her maiden name? I said, I don't know. It comes from the Medicaid department. It says she has Medicaid. And it come to find out that the state-run facility where she was at for a while had applied for Medicaid so that they could get paid and put it underneath her maiden name and only had to show her Social Security income, and she was approved. They almost tossed out the whole application because they thought that my wife and I had conjured up this idea of how to get her on Medicaid. And they're asking me, how long have you been married? I said, 23 years. Well, why is her maiden name on that application? I said, well, you need to find the caseworker and figure out who started this and where it came from. But once they realized that it wasn't my wife or I, we had no part in it, tensions kind of went down again. But now they want receipts of stuff that took place back in 2021 of where I take $5,000 out of the joint check-in. We put a new furnace in the house and got a pellet stove. But I don't know about you guys. Amos, I can pretty much tell you you're willing to do that, is cash is king. If you have cash in hand, usually a contractor will do it for a little bit less, and usually it's under the table, and no receipts. Never in my wildest dreams would I think I'd have to have a receipt and have somebody looking through my checking account. But they're looking at it as like maybe I'm hoarding the money somewhere. So I got to call them today and tell them that I can't give you what I don't have. But whether you're running your own shop or an employee or as an individual retired, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your body. And you need to do it in such a way that you're not asking somebody else to do it for you. I know what it's like to be a caregiver. I have been for the last 24 years. Because what ends up happening for you guys out there that were caregivers, and Ed, I know that you were a caregiver with your wife that passed away 10 years ago, that it takes so much out of you. You're willing to do anything and everything until you fall over. And what good are you, or what good am I if I can't do anything because I'm sick, or mental health problems start to pop up, lack of sleep, not eating right, bad diet. There's so many things that you have to factor in when it comes to your body. It's the same thing with running a repair shop. You need to be able to manage employees if you have them. You need to note every dollar and cent and where it's being spent and where the income is coming in. And they make software, QuickBooks and Quickens, and there's a number of them out there that can do just that for your business. Yes, you're going to pay like a monthly fee if you go that direction, or you can buy the software out of the box. But I think if you go with the monthly plan, they give you so many credits to have people that are doing that every day set stuff up for you, whether it be like payroll for New York State. It does everything for you and just spits out a number. And it reminds you need to send a check or direct deposit or what have you, what they call it, where it transfers out of your account to the IRS, to the state. I ended up hiring somebody to do that. And because, again, that was another area for me that I was so worried I was going to screw it up. And that's how I've lived my life, is I don't want to look over my shoulder. I'd rather go without than be concerned that I did somebody wrong or that I lied about something, or, it's not in my vocabulary. I guess that's not a bad thing, but so as you're sitting there watching or listening to this morning, what are your thoughts on that? Are you taking care of your body and, running it like your shop? Jason, putting in 12-hour days, 7 to 7, is a bit extreme, but I know that you putter and stuff. And probably if you figured out the amount of time actual spent working, it'd probably be closer to 8, right? because you're waiting on things. But still, 7 to 7, you're committed to that slot, and your customers learn that you're there till 7 o'clock at night. So you're covering the retirees in the morning, and then the working people from 3 to 5 at night can drop stuff off. The way I've done it with our shop is, with our customers, is call ahead, let me know it's coming, and then when I see it show up, I'll know whose it is. They can do after hour drop-offs, or we can go get it. That's one of two options. I'm curious to know how you guys are handling that aspect. I sucked at it. I think I still suck at it. Suck at it enough that I probably should have been in the emergency room Saturday and Sunday. But I'm still here. So on that note, you guys have a great Tuesday, and hopefully I'll be around tomorrow morning and not in some hospital. You guys enjoy your Tuesday.